Have you ever wondered what happens when we die? It is one of the most profound and universal questions that has intrigued mankind since the time immemorial. Many cultures and religions have different answers, but what is the truth? In this video, we will explore what happens when you die from a truly scientific and esoteric perspective. Is there an afterlife? Does our body and mind simply shut down forever? Or is there something beyond what we can comprehend? The ignorance of death has caused most human beings to fear it and not see death as the ultimate goal or objective of everything. If a person truly understands what death is, he or she will no longer fear it and will be able to venture into the mysteries of life and death. The reason for living is to die, and we have no other checks than this. One is born to die and dies to be born. If the germ does not die, the plant is not born. Death is the end of something. Death liberates in all cases. We have the right to return in 324,000 human physical bodies, passing through physical death. All this will happen mechanically if we do not understand the importance of psychological death, which allows us to achieve an existence the intimate self-realization of the being. Let us see that there are three types of death, which are intimately related to each other, and that one cannot be studied without studying the other two. A. The death of the physical body. B. The second death. C. The psychological death. Let us study the process of the death of the physical body. It begins with a state of catalepsy that lasts 72 hours, where apparently the physical body is dead, but this state can be suspended at any moment, with which the dying person would return to the body in the course of this lapse. During these 72 hours, three judgments take place as follows. First judgment. In the first 5 minutes, the disincarnated person makes a conscious retrospection of each one of his acts in this existence, carefully observing each event of the lived existence, and upon arriving at the very instant of his birth, he compares the lived existence with the plan he had for this one. Second judgment. It is given at approximately 24 hours, before the Lords of the Divine Law. Here two things are taken into account. The atomic weight of each of the psychological elements, the number of the same, quantity. Then these are compared with those that the dying person had at the end of his previous existence to see if they increased or decreased in this one. Third judgment. At approximately 48 hours, the soul of the disincarnated is taken to the tribunal of objective justice. Here three things are judged. The weight of the good or bad deeds of each of the acts of existence. The number of times that each of these psychological elements manifested in existence. The measure of the fire in the spinal cord. At the end of this process, the addition and subtraction of fractions is made, which will determine several things. The karma that this soul will endure in its next existence in the electropsychic design of the new personality if it has the right to a new existence. When this trial is over, Anubis, the hierarch of objective justice, orders the angel of death to cut the silver cord of the disincarnate and release him from his physical body. But the angel of death asks permission from the divine mother of the dying person. If authorized, the angel of death takes up to 24 hours to cut the silver cord with the death ray. If the mother does not authorize the death ray, the dying person must return to his physical body within 72 hours. Unfortunately, at this time, almost everyone is unaware of these processes, formerly known to all tribes and peoples of the planet, and the dying are buried alive or autopsied before 72 hours. This could be avoided if people knew better the process of death and were not so afraid of it. With the 72 hours, waked could be avoided. Once the angel of death has acted, there are three alternatives for the disincarnated person. That his 108 existences have already ended, and his soul must enter the submerged involution in the planet Earth, from where he will not come out until he achieves the second death or the liberation of his essence. That his 108 existences have not yet been completed. His soul will be transferred to Limbo, where he will wait for his next body, making continuous retrospection of his previous existence. If he worked with the sacred fire and increased his measure, Anubis the hierarch will order a vacation in heaven in the divine mother of the disembodied will take him, will give him strength and instruction so that in his next physical body, this soul will attempt the self-realization of his being. When one does not work on oneself, the psyche or soul is lost at the end of the 108 existences. This soul is taken to the abyss, penetrates the 9 fantastic circles, from where it will not come out until nature does not disintegrate all the defects that were created in the diverse existences. After thousands of years of suffering and decomposition, when the essence is totally pure, it is liberated from the abyss. This step is called the second death. The totally liberated essence goes out into the light of the sun, where it will reinitiate a new evolution starting again from the mineral kingdom. C. Psychological death. This frees us from the constant slavery in which we are held by the various eyes or ways of being of oneself. We have millions of psychological defects or sins that manifest themselves in daily life and permanently exhaust our energies unnecessarily. There are defects of all kinds: anger, impatience, irritability, greed, ambition, worry, deceit, lying, fear, jealousy, lust, fornication, adultery, vanity, conceit, self-love, self-consideration, self-sympathy, suffering, pride, ill will, discouragement, dislike, disgust, laziness, idleness, curiosity, theft, cheating, sleep, begging, wastefulness, alcoholism, drug addiction, degeneracy, envy, etc., etc., etc. As the poet of Mantua said, even if we had a pellet of steel and 1,000 tongues, we would not be able to enumerate them all. Each of these psychological defects has trapped a small portion of our consciousness, which is what gives life to the defect. When the psychological defect dies, the trapped spark of consciousness, which is the real part of it, is released. If one of psychological defect can be eliminated, all defects can be eliminated. If we can free one spark from the darkness, we can free them all. Where it is shown that the dead is killed by death for an eternity. If we free ourselves from our psychological defects, we will have recovered all our consciousness and integrated our own self, achieving sacred individuality. This is why we say that the reason to live is to die. Practice of psychological death. Discovering with self-observation a defect, judging it with reflection until it is understood, and eliminating it by begging the Divine Mother to put it to death. Example: I am walking down the street and I see a beautiful girl. I observe an unmistakable sensation in the sexual center. I discover the attraction in my instinctive center. I feel in love in the emotional center. I idealize her in the intellectual center. I observe the orders given to me by the eyes in the motor center. This is the self-observed. Reflection. What does this self desire? What does it torment me? What is this it suggests I do? Understandings. I am fornicating in every center with every girl I like. I am being driven by the defect. I forget myself. I identify myself and consciousness goes to sleep. Elimination. From each detail that I have observed and of which one has become conscious, the particular Divine Mother is asked to eliminate it in each center, the desire that I am feeling. This process can be repeated throughout the day for each detail that is discovered. What dies? The physical body, the vital body, and the personality are the parts that die at the end of an existence. What does not die? The essence or consciousness of each person is immortal. It is the only real and true thing of ours. It never dies. It is the God part of each one. The psychological elements in which our essence or consciousness is bottled up return from existence to existence, and in each of these they are strengthened. It is important to understand that with the death of the physical body, the psychological defects do not die. They are trapped by the seminal envelope and transferred to the new body until the 108 existences are completed. If we do not eliminate them voluntarily, in the end they will disintegrate in the abyss when the second death is completed. We invite you to share these videos everywhere, so that the light of this knowledge can illuminate all human beings in the world. We also urge you to link with our great project of sacrifice for suffering humanity by donating resources so that these Gnostic audiovisual materials can be produced and publicized on a large scale and brought to the entire planet. Your support is crucial in this great purpose. Giving is how you receive. This is the law of the universe. I am the apprentice of the Worshipful Master of the White Lodge, and I will see you in an upcoming video of the science of energism, pure gnosis, white Freemasonry unveiled. Deep peace.